They told me for years there was no money in podcasting. Well, they were all wrong.
How is baseball different in Japan? The rules are pretty much probably the exact same, 60 feet, 6 inches, 90 feet to the bag, but the game is different. Like the ball itself is different, right? The seams are raised a little bit on the actual ball. Is that true?
Yeah, it's got, and it's also smaller.
It's a little
slightly
smaller.
It's tackier. It's easier to grip, where the MLB balls are, more slicker. That's why you have this, this new rule change here, because a lot of guys were getting this too much sticky stuff on their hands and able to have really great command. You had a lot of no hitters in the beginning of the season, record amount in that span of time. But anyhow, it's small ball here. It's kind of like MLB used to be. I think I was watching MLB Network the other day, and the Padres, was it the Padres or the Tigers? I forgot which team. Were actually bunting in the first inning, and I think he put 5 runs up. But it's small ball here. There's not a lot of launch angle, on the swing. It's more guys hitting. It's really hard to throw a no hitter here, because guys will just throw the bat out to make contact.
Yeah.
And even if it's a blooper, they don't care. They want to get on. I'm actually doing a study for Sabre on the art of bunting. Is it dying across the world? Not here so much. In the Central League and the Pacific League, there's a little uptick over the last few years. And I'm comparing the bunting here compared to Taiwan, the CPBO, the KBO, and NL and AL. And I'll reveal that later on. But bunting is very much alive here, as well as small ball. And the pitchers here don't have the velocity that they have in MLB, but they pitch backwards. Guys coming over here, hitters, would be really surprised to see a first pitch slider or a curveball, where, MLB, it's fastball right away. You could pretty much tell the first pitch is going to be a fastball. It's more of a team concept here, less ego. Even the superstars here, I think, are, there's less ego here. It's baseball. Old school baseball here. I think it's, they still have the pitchers still hit in one of the leagues, in the Central League. Hopefully that'll still continue. I don't know if that's going to continue in MLB. This year there's ties after 9 innings because of COVID.
Yeah, I don't like that. So, you had me at gritty baseball. I like the fundamentals. I'm a small ball kind of guy. That's why I love the Yankees, but God damn it, guys, just shoot for a single, get a bunt, a sac fly, gritty baseball. But the whole extra inning rule, the man on second base, drives me crazy. But a tie would drive me even more crazy.
Well, it used to be they would have a tie after 12 innings. They played 3 extra innings, but now, because of COVID, it's after 9 innings. That's it. It's a tie. So there was a pitcher, Carter Stewart, who's with the SoftBank Hawks. He was a first-round MLB pick, but the Braves passed on him. They saw something on his wrist, so he signed with SoftBank, and he was part of a 3-man no-hitter, but the game ended in a 0-0 tie.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I would have lost my mind. But, guys, come on. There's someone in the last 2 innings, but guys, someone just swing for the fences. I know we don't do angled swings here, but for God's sake, someone do it.
Yeah. So, and he said, like, no one was really happy. And he was like, come on, guys, we threw a no-hitter. They didn't have any hits off us.
Yeah.
So, it's, the fans are crazy here. It's very organized cheering. Right now it's quiet. It's, it's kind of eerie, but normally, pre-COVID, and hopefully we'll get back to normal as soon as possible, as soon as it's safe. You'll have the horn sections and the drums in the outfield and songs for each player going again in Japan.
Really? They have all that over there? I mean,
they have practice. They practice too. It's like band practice. And if you don't show up, you're thrown out of the it's called Oendan. It's the cheering section. It's hardcore.
I love it. I love it.
I hope you could come over here and see a game. It changed my life. One
day. There's a lot of things I gotta do in Japan. In America, baseball, unfortunately, is a struggling sport. There's plenty of reasons for that. Fandom is, it comes and goes. I think baseball is back on an upswing in America. But that was the next question. Like, how is the culture on different in Japan when it comes to fandom and marketing and just the people going crazy, and also with the players, I guess, with team loyalty. Like, you don't see many more Derek Jeters around in American baseball. People chase the money, they chase the World Series rings. I guess you got Mike Trout every now and then who's on that long deal. But is it like that in Japan?
Well, the first part of the question, the fans are nuts. I told you that before. The
Mhm.
fans are pretty crazy and into it. They've got little bats they're hitting together during the games, and they have actually cheering sections and drum. They're very loyal. They don't boo. You're not going to hear boos. I've never heard a boo here or in Korea. I heard a boo once in Korea because a player said an insensitive thing towards a foreign player. Get into that later. It's actually in my book. It was related to Shane Newman, who played in Korea. But so the fans are very loyal. This situation going on with the Mets and the players and the thumbs down. There would never be anything like that over here. The fans
Stupid.
wouldn't boo the player, first off. And then the second part of your question, what was that again?
It was team loyalty. Like, do players stick with their teams?
Yeah, they do. You don't see much trades. You see guys play pretty much the duration of their career with the same team. There's a player called Tetsuro Yamada who plays for the Swallows, and he was coming to the end of his contract with them, and he wound up re-signing with them. Probably could have got more money from other teams. It was reported other teams wanted him, but he stuck with them because there is much more loyalty here. You don't see trades that often. Much less. It's not a lot of. That's not a big part of the culture, baseball culture in Japan or Korea so much. But MLB, there's it's more. Well, I'd say they're more team orientated here, and MLB is more. It's more of a business. How can I make the most out of my career? Which you can't blame the players for, but that's kind of probably looked down upon more here. It's more about loyalty and team harmony, and that's taught from a very young age here. Where you have to work together and be loyal to your classmates and your teachers and your parents and all that stuff. Not to say that doesn't go on in the States, but it's a little more different team concept here than in the States.
Yeah, from what I know about Japanese culture, they're big on tradition and respect, and I'm glad that takes over in baseball because they did take the traditional sense of baseball and they stuck to it. So I am very glad to hear that they stick to the fundamentals, they stick to the loyalty. Not booing is interesting because I'll boo the Yankees. I'll boo the Yankees.
Really no booing. Even they don't really even boo the other team, the opposing team. Very very rarely, and bench clearing brawls and fights don't really ensue. Have you seen the movie Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck?
No.
Great movie to learn about the culture of baseball here. So if a player hits another player, the pitcher, by accident, they'll tip their hat. It's like a gesture of I'm sorry. So he did that. The Japanese player did that to Tom Selleck, but he just came from MLB, and he didn't know that tipping the hat means I'm sorry. He thought that he meant to hit him, and he charged him out. And there's a famous line the translator is yelling out, "He tipped his cap! He tipped his cap!" Or one of the players, "He's sorry." So so you don't see a lot of fighting and things like that so much, bench clearing brawls like you do in MLB, which is exciting. The arguing, you never really see umpires come out and challenge coaches or managers come out and challenge the umpires so much here. Even though video is pretty new, even before that, you didn't see it. I think there was a generation like in the 70s and 80s and 90s where that was more popular here. But I don't know. I'd like to do some research on that and find out why that is. But it's really interesting. You don't really see that. MLB, you still see it, even though there's replay and the replay rule. But you do see managers coming out and challenging balls and strikes still, because that's still not automated. If the robots take over, well, then there won't be that either. So,
I mean, I like the human element of the game. You know,
mhm.
baseball, it's always been a human game. Mistakes, blown calls are literally a part of the game. But, you know, there's certain circumstances, like a few years ago in that Tigers pitcher, I think Galarraga was his name, had that perfect game, and the umpire blew the call
Yes.
at first base by a
Jim
mile.
Joyce, I think it
Jim
was. That was
Joyce.
terrible.
And like then he
Yeah.
did it again in the playoffs that year. It's like so situations like that or in the playoffs, like no, you definitely need instant replay. I've come around to it, but balls and strikes, no. No. The umpire can have a blown call. All right. That's the human
Yeah.
part of the game. I don't want a robot umpire. All right.
Yeah.
America needs jobs.
Yeah.
Umpires matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I do miss more of the arguing and that because that was a great part of the game. The theatrics, the Earl Weavers, the Billy Martins, Lou Piniella coming out throwing the bases. You don't really
Yeah.
see that much over here.
Oh,
There was a
Lou
guy
Piniella,
who came,
that's a name.
Marty Brown, who was a manager here in Japan. He would throw the bases, and then it's in my book. There were T-shirts made up. Danger! My manager throws bases, in Japanese. But I honestly, you rarely see a manager come out here and argue anything. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say I wish they did, but I did enjoy that theatrics, and then like also, it shows your team that you have their back.
Yeah.
Sometimes the managers just do that to show the team that they have their back and they're behind them.
And as a manager, that's so important. Like there's times I'm like, Boone, like, what are you doing? Like, get up. Your team's been losing 5 games in a row. Like you're losing first. Like, what are you doing? But that's just reflective of the Japanese culture. So that totally makes sense. But I kind of want to shift to a little more of the history of baseball.